I'm hitting the record button.
Okay, thank you.
I guess it's going now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
There's
record me with like a tape recorder. I'm sorry. Yeah.
no.
I'm an old guy that's not very good with technology.
Yeah, but I understand. I didn't know about this. I only a few weeks ago that I was taking a class.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it. Okay, so that's it with the procedure. I was I was basically going to. Here's my basic protocol of picking up the animals. So I collect
Okay.
the animals,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm worried about is that this animal is very territorial in the sense that it has a small territory,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, if you take it for too long, it's going to lose that territory.
You mean to another snake or something? Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's. I've never heard of anybody being concerned about that in all the literature I've read.
Okay.
Especially if you're only taking them out of the wild for a few days, I think it'll be okay. Yeah.
Okay. You think if I take it in like a week or so, it
I
shouldn't be
think
a
that'll be
problem?
okay. Yeah.
Because
Instead of
if you,
territories, I think you need to think of it more as home ranges. You know, they have an area where they, you know, find their food and their mates, and they have their shelters and all that.
I
And
was I was talking with Mahmoud Sasa. I don't know if you
oh yeah, I know his name. Yeah,
know who he
I
is.
met him once. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he was telling me, we were talking about this project, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me there's a snake, there's a cerrophidium from Costa Rica
Mm-hmm.
that I think is pretty similar. And when we start talking,
Hmm.
we found really similarities because they live in the same altitude.
Okay.
They have mostly the same patterns that they are mostly found in the same spot all the time. So it seems that the home range is really like small,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and they only have this spot to perch on the sun and
Mm-hmm.
take the heat that they need,
Right.
and
Right.
then they go inside the bushes that where they are safe basically
Mm-hmm.
from predators.
Gotcha.
And the bushes are really dense,
Okay. Yeah.
densely packed, and normally they
Mm-hmm.
have spines and everything. So
Oh wow.
I don't think these animals move much.
Okay.
That's why I'm beginning with the project, because normally they always seem to see the snake in the same spots that the people always see them.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm worried about the taking the data for the GPS with the GPS for the home range, because if it's not so big the home range, I'm not going to be able to give us an assessment of the home range, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the GPS doesn't have a lot of precision.
Right. Maybe down to
Normally,
2 meters or so. Yeah.
yeah, here in Ecuador, normally you can get 5 or 10 meters, which is a
Oh,
lot.
okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, and this up here in the U.S. We could get down to 3 meters at times. Yeah,
Yeah.
under the right conditions.
So,
Yeah, North American pit vipers have pretty small home ranges too. They're mostly sit and wait predators, and um, I know in the work I did, I worked with colubrids that have bigger home ranges. But yeah, sometimes if the locations overlap each other, then you're just going to have to consider them one location. But I think they will move around enough to where you should be able to get some information, especially if you follow them long enough
mhm, mhm.
over like, several weeks to several months. But
So
all you can do is try and figure out what's going on. What kind of habitat
yeah,
do they live in? Is it
basically
open grass?
it's a bush.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't have a really tall trees, basically no trees. That's
Oh,
that's
okay.
what they prefer, it seems.
Oh, okay.
Because I work in the forest, the dense forest, and they
Uh-huh.
are never found there.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Never. I,
Never.
I haven't heard a snake that has been there. And there's also a lot of there's a place where they can perch,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a dense bush
Mm-hmm.
near,
Okay.
or a spike, this bromelian that has
Oh.
a lot of spikes.
Oh, okay.
Those
Yeah.
those places,
Mm.
and uh, they like I said, they seem that doesn't move very much, and
Mhm.
also I don't think they search for water
Huh.
because it's so humid,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
there's a lot of ponds and small patches of water that I
Mhm.
don't think they move for water.
Oh,
That's
okay.
also another thing that I have to see if it's true.
Yeah.
Um, respect of the data that I'm going to take, I
Mhm.
was planning to account for weight when I pick them up.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
Um,
I
I
tried to
was
weigh them and
thinking
measure them prior to surgery. Yeah.
also that the measurement, the
Yeah.
long, the
I would
length.
put, I used to put pit tags in mine as well. I don't know if you have access to those. That way, if the transmitter dies, you know what the animal, you know the identity of that animal.
No, but I have a theory, and
Okay.
we have been discussing with people in the lab, and
Mhm.
we think that is going to be enough a picture that we can assess the specimen just because of the pattern of the
Oh,
head.
okay. Oh, wow.
Behind of the head, they
Yeah.
seem to have a unique pattern that you can identify.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. People also
So
do scale clips on the ventral surface too, in the tail and all that, if you want to go that route. But
that's
yeah,
also
if the
a
head
possibility. Yeah, yeah,
pattern works, that would be best because it's less invasive. I think so.
yeah. Oh, but they do have this unique pattern, especially in the neck. That
Okay.
there's basically they cut, or there's only one side, or they form a T, and
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of,
Oh, interesting.
so
Okay.
it's pretty easy to see the pattern. So I think
Mhm, mhm.
it's going to be that's another thing. How much time do I have? What's the window that I have to monitor the snake? Because here it says the 15 weeks to 20 weeks, right?
Right, right.
These ones. So if I go for the 16-week, and maybe I don't found it immediately, maybe go to the 17-week, do you think I should be fine?
Possibly, yeah. It depends on the transmitter. I have some that malfunction and the battery dies after a couple weeks. Others, they will last longer than they say they're going to last. It's just
Mm,
one of these
mm,
things where you have to do it and see how it works out. Um,
okay.
do you plan to go out and check each snake like once a week or a couple
Yeah,
times?
that's the another question I was going to ask you, because at the beginning I think that I must go basically at least 3 times a day, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
Okay.
the first hour in the morning is when they get some sun,
Hmm.
basically between 7 and 9,
Oh, okay. That early. Wow.
maximum 10 p.m.,
Hmm.
10 a.m. And also I would like to take the data of the temperature
Hmm.
around midday or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
That'd be interesting.
And
Yeah.
the other time they go out for sun is in the evening between 4 and 6 p.m. or something like that. And I would like to take the temperature in these hours to see the,
Right.
the the range of the temperature. And also in the night I have to go someday, or some days with a few snakes, to see if in the night the temperature changes a lot.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So in the beginning I think I have to take at least for measurements.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, that was something I didn't do was record temperatures. I didn't have the temperature sensitive transmitters, but
Yeah, that's
you can
another
also
thing.
monitor them throughout the day and night to see daily movement patterns. Although I bet you
Yeah,
don't move that much. Colubrids would move more, I'm sure.
I don't think that these snakes move in the night.
Oh, okay.
There's basically no records of them moving at
Oh,
night.
okay. Okay.
There's only one snake that I know of, because of a picture, that
Hmm.
was moving around 6:30, 7 p.m., something
Oh,
like that.
okay. Okay.
But
That
that was a
on there,
small.
right?
Excuse me.
Is that about dusk at that point in time? Yeah, the sun's
It
about to set.
depends on the year because we do have a few changes in the hours.
Oh, okay.
So at this time, it basically the sun goes down at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. Okay. 7.
In near September, October,
Mhm.
it goes down around 6 p.m.
Oh, okay. Oh, that much difference. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we don't we don't exactly know what's the reason for them moving, but I think
Mhm.
that they are not moving in the night. That's other thing. How do you know that they are active or not?
Um, I guess just by seeing them. Usually when I went out, my snakes they weren't active. I followed the signal to a stump hole or a log or something like that. And I didn't dig them out because I didn't want to disturb them unless the signal kept coming from the same spot for a long period of time. Then I realized something's probably wrong, and then you try and find it. But
Mm.
and mostly what I found too, but again, this is mostly with North American clubrids, is they'll often stay in one area for several days and then make a large move of 50 to a couple hundred meters maybe to another area and then stay there for a few days, making short movements.
Mm.
I don't know if these pit vipers do that. They may not do that. I don't know.
I don't think. Basically, my gut tells me that not because whenever I talk about these snakes, there's also the same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
They stay in the same basically area. They
Mm-hmm.
always seem to see them in the same times,
Okay.
and uh, also they perch in the same form,
Oh,
basically
okay.
in the same stone that they always perch.
Wow.
That's
Interesting.
the spot.
And you're sure you're seeing the same individual snakes doing that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because the people recognize me, and I have another record of a person that we did a few years ago that they had a big female pig for
Mhm.
these snakes.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd love to see a live
that
one.
yeah, yeah, I do found it. So if you come, I probably have one for
Oh,
you.
good.
So especially the juveniles, they are super easy to find. It
Oh,
seems.
wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Um, and this person told me that this female was always in the same big rock that they had near
Mm-hmm.
the farm,
Mm-hmm.
and he always looked the snake in the days, basically all the days, and then it seems that she got fed or something and go underground, and
Oh,
then a few days then again in the sun in the same spot, the same snake, because this was a large female. He
okay.
basically said it was like his pet
Yeah.
because all the day in a few years the snake was always there. So I think it's pretty consistent with everything that I see. Also, I talked to the people around and people who doesn't know anything about snakes. They always tell me, yeah, I've seen one snake that's always there. Basically, this week I didn't see it, but the last week I did saw it. So
Wow. Interesting.
yeah. Um, Also, I was going to ask, let me see my list. Mm, So anesthesia, incision, the transmitter, the antenna, the stitching. Yeah, the stitching. I mean, it's basically better to use this. How do you say the string that you
Yeah.
use
They come,
for?
yeah, they're called absorbable sutures. They come with a needle on them and you sew them up and then they just kind of dissolve, I guess, as the
Yeah,
wound
yeah,
heals.
yeah. That should be
Veterinarians have them.
the
Yeah.
best thing to do, right?
Yeah. What now?
That's the best thing to do. Use
Yes.
this.
Mm-hmm. I've got some in the lab. I'll take a picture of them and send you some pictures of
No,
stuff.
I think I know what they are.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. Mm, don't forget about the papers. that should help a lot with the veterinarian and
Okay,
with
sure,
the
yeah.
procedure and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably be
Mm,
next week before I can do that, but you know.
no problem.
Okay.
I have time since I have to get those bureaucracy papers,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't have so much rush to do that. Um,
Have you
what
talked to
else?
David lately or seen him?
Kind of. We
Okay.
have talked about the project and the small things, but no, he's very busy, and
Yeah.
also I am with the thing, so I haven't talked with
Okay.
him.
All right. I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, paper, uh, the long, the length. The length of the antenna of
Okay.
the transmitter. How
Hmm.
much? How you calculate that? Because they it's really long.
Right. You
The
can cut
antenna.
them to fit. Yeah, it's okay to cut them off if the antenna's too long.
So you don't have an
Not an
idea.
optimal length or anything. No, I think the longer the antenna, the more powerful the signal. So if you can keep it as long as you can without, harming the animal in any way, then do so. But if it's too long, it's okay to trim it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Well,
that's also another thing to learn, right?
right. Right. Yeah. It's one of those things you learn with experience. And
By the way, I really want to thank you to take the time and also worrying about all the papers and
oh,
everything.
no problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad to help. I hope
that
I can
that
come
helped
down
me
and
a
help
lot.
you in person. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know that I'll be
So
able to come down this year, but I should be able to next year.
let's see how I make, but this
Yeah.
project I think is going to take a lot of years.
Okay.
That's also another thing. Uh, I'm worried about taking data from this year and then the next year doing the same and basically end up with 5 years of data
Okay.
and trying to compare them.
Ah,
I'm kind of worried about that, but if if there's no other way to do it, basically you have to do it, right?
right. Yeah. Unless you can find, 20 snakes in 1 year, which sounds like that would be really difficult for these things, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, that's another thing that I was discussing with David because we had basically we disagree really hard in this. He thinks that I should find the snakes. There's a way to find 5 snakes in one evening,
Hmm.
and you basically hire a guy that trims all the side of a mountain, and he founds like 5 snakes.
Wow.
But I think that's really bad for the data because if you destroy the habitat and
Yeah.
they really attach to the habitat, it's going to mess with the data that you collect.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Depending on how extensively you damage the habitat or whatever. Yeah.
Basically, they have to trim it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They get the machete and they send it to the ground and they cut,
Wow.
and
Okay.
that's how they find them. And
Oh, wow.
you can find it in a small place like
Mhm.
4 or 5 snakes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's another thing. It seems that they live really close to each other. I
Interesting.
have a confirmation from this guy that I told you he's affectionate to snakes,
Hmm.
and he told me that once he found a snake, he followed it and picked it up a big rock, and
Hmm.
there was another two snakes there.
Wow.
They basically share the habitat. I was talking with the people in the lab, and they also told me that yeah, it's possible, but it you don't know yet if it's a season or it was an
Yeah.
adult and two small ones that
Right. Right.
can affect
Yeah, maybe
the
that's something your
observation.
study could shed light on. Yeah, maybe they come together. Those are mating aggregations or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so I have confirmation that that happens, but I don't know why or what circumstances. So I do know that they share that you can find them really easily if you trim uh, a side of a mount.
Wow.
But I don't I basically don't want to do.
Right. Yeah. Do they perch off the ground a lot, or are they usually just on rocks and on the ground, or they climb in the bushes too?
No, in the bushes. They found a spot near the ground
Hmm.
where there's an opening and the sun goes directly.
Oh, okay. That's what they like.
And they are always near a place where there's a lot of bushes that
Okay.
they can run
Ah,
super
okay.
easy.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting.
And so that's why they are super hard to find in the field without trimming the side of the mountain, because
Mhm.
uh, whenever they hear, they always seem to try to go to the spot for hiding. So
Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Now
I
we.
think they live in close proximity of each other. If
Okay.
there's
That's
a
interesting. Yeah.
there's light around it, they're going to be there. I think they are very resilient to uh, urban areas, because I know of cats that have killed, especially juveniles,
Really?
near houses and
Wow.
really near to the center of the city.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
My family has an enterprise that has a big space,
Hmm.
and you have a lot of big uh, trucks and everything passing by and everything, and there's a spot in the middle of this place that's like uh, something like a square kilometer or something like
Yeah.
that, and has just grass. That's it.
Okay.
And a cat of that place killed
Hmm.
an specimen in
Mm.
that place. And
Wow.
there's houses and industry around it, and
Ah, interesting. Okay. Hmm.
so it seems that it's they have no problem if there's a spot that
Yeah.
doesn't have much movement and has light in it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
They are really fine there.
I suppose as long as they can find food and shelter, they're probably okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
Zoom may take us
this
off after 40 minutes. I don't know. So we might only have a couple minutes left.
okay. Normally there's a signal up here that says the time, but
Oh,
it
okay.
hasn't
Okay.
appeared. So
Okay. I've got a thing in front of me. It says 3:38. Yeah. My time.
okay.
But anyway, just want to let you know.
So I think they are pretty resilient to that,
Okay. To disturb.
because normally if you read Campbell and Lamar, they
Mhm.
said that they are really shy, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they are really shy, but they are kind of abundant.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. Yeah.
So that's another thing that I have to test. But with that in mind, I think that it's not a good idea to trim the side of a mountain and try to pick up these animals and that.
Yeah. It seems like you're destroying their habitat. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to do it. And in the forest, they're never found in
Hmm.
the forest, so
Interesting.
there's
Yeah.
no point of finding them. Try to find them there.
Now it may turn out that they use the force and you just don't see them in there. I mean, the telemetry will tell you that, you know.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case, because there's a lot. There's another site where they found them, and they are really hard to find in this other side of the mountain. Is basically in the Amazon.
Oh, okay, okay.
They were never registered before in there,
Hmm.
but they are in they found two specimens in a place where they have burned it down,
Oh,
basically,
wow. Oh, okay.
and that's the only place where they are.
Oh, so they really like open habitats then, or at
Yeah,
least not forested. Wow, that's interesting.
that's why I think. We don't know yet. So what else? So with the data of the different years and the
Mhm.
habitat and everything, I have to do what width I have, right? There's no other possibility.
I-
So
You're right. Yeah, I did that too with some of my studies. Yeah, because I could only get a certain number of animals per year.
yeah. So the other thing I wanted to ask you is about this scale, the temperature scale.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can see it. Yeah, and I understand how you measure it, but it's just to be sure. So you take how many uh, how
Pulses?
you say pulses
Yeah.
that the transmitter gives in like 10 seconds.
I think so, yeah. Like I said, I didn't do that kind of stuff, but that's what I understand from talking to other people.
Yeah, there's in Hollow Hill they have an explanation, but basically I wanted to be sure with you because
Yeah. It may be a little
uh,
longer than 10 seconds. There ought to be, I bet if you Google it, you can find out. Or maybe I can find out too from some people up here that have done that kind of thing.
um, no, I think in Hollow Hill they have an explanation. Let me see if I found it. Okay, here. Each temperature sensitive transmitter that will we manufacture is supplied with a plotted graph.
Okay.
This graph allows the user to determine the temperature of the transmitter of the animal implanted being used. The graph indicates the temperature of the transmitter based on the interval of between the pulses.
Okay.
A small interval, the higher the temperature, the larger the interval, the lower the temperature.
Oh, okay. Makes
The
sense.
easiest way to calculate the pulse
Mm-hmm.
interval is to count 11 pulses.
Okay.
That will give you a total of 10 intervals while using a stopwatch
Oh, yeah. Okay.
to measure how much time it takes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You
Okay.
then divided the time by 10. So you count the pulses.
Yeah. 11 pulses and however long it takes, then you should be able to figure out the temperature from that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's backwards what I've said, right?
Yeah, basically, yes. Yes. So, yeah, with the stop, hit the stopwatch on, count 11 pulses, hit the stopwatch off. And then if it's a short period of time, the shorter the amount of time, the warmer the animal, warm the transmitter, the longer, the
I
cooler.
wonder how accurate is that?
That I can't tell you. Maybe
Mm.
there's literature that tells you that, though, that it could be some papers about that I haven't read or that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, okay. I'm really worried about this part because I wanted to take uh, basically correct data.
Sure, yeah.
So um,
You could practice in the lab maybe after you put the transmitter in the animal, do that a few times before you release it to get comfortable with counting the pulses, recording the time, and calculating the temperature.
mm,
That's
I
what that.
wonder if
Yeah.
the temperatures changes much in the day
Mhm.
because here the reptiles tend to have one narrow range of temperature,
Pretty much.
and basically they try to maintain this temperature actively searching for shelter or
I would assume it
sun.
would drop at night though, because
Really?
they can't bask
Hmm.
unless they go into burrows where the temperature stays really uniform, or under rocks or something.
Hmm. Hmm.
But presumably, when they come out in the mornings to bask, then it's their temperature should go up, and then yeah.
Okay, so the important thing of the data,
Mhm.
what else should I take? The space where they move, right?
Right,
The
right.
temperature,
Coordinates.
the altitude,
Yeah, yeah.
and also I was thinking of searching for the spots of water to see
Okay. Yeah, you could do that.
if
Sure.
there's a relation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What
Maybe
else?
habitat data. I don't know if you can identify habitat. Those papers by Reinert I sent you, what he did was, this is a lot of work. I think it's too much work for one person, but unless you've got a lot of time, use multivariate statistics and did a lot of measurements at each site where the snake was found, and then measurements at random sites around it, so you can get an idea of is the snake using specific aspects of the habitat, or is it kind of?
Yeah, I have to see what the snake allows me to do, because
Mhm,
if it's really nervous and
mhm.
I go all the time to
Check.
monitor it and
Mhm,
and basically stress it out, I don't
yeah.
want to mess so much with it. But what I was thinking of doing, if it's a small home range, I
Mhm.
was trying to basically draw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So put the important spots there, a
Mhm.
log,
Yeah.
a small parch area, or water, or something like that. That I was thinking to do. I don't know how much is going to help me, but it shouldn't take too much time if I go there and start drawing for each snake
Mhm.
while I am taking the rest of the data.
Okay.
Shouldn't take long. So that's
Okay.
why I was
Mhm.
thinking about the
Okay.
habitat.
Yeah. And there's various ways you can do habitat analyses too. Yeah. In the literature, there are different ways. I sent you those, or at least citations of those Reinert papers. That's kind of the
Yeah,
classic.
yeah.
They're
I
kind of
was
old, but
reading,
still use that.
but basically they all use the home range, right?
Right. Yeah. And there's a number of different ways to calculate that too, which is, but that gets into, I guess, more theoretical stuff where people's more statistical backgrounds are kind of, quibbling over which method is better.
Because the end of the project, I was thinking that I would like to compare specimens that are in the urban area and the ones that are in the basically forest where they don't mess with people,
Right. Right.
and to
Yeah. That would be
see
good.
if
That's interesting. Yeah.
the there's a difference, there's
Mhm.
a big difference. And also this will allow me to extrapolate a few years from now if the temperature or these habitats have been basically going up in in the valley because of the climate change. What do you think about that?
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
You think it can show something?
Maybe, but I think you'd need to do some more longer term studies probably for that to be borne out. Unless there's some data from the past or something that indicates
No,
that it was found at these lower levels and now they're not down there anymore or something. I don't know.
no. There's
But I'm
nothing
sure there's
about that.
very little ecological information on this species, right?
Yeah, there's basically nothing.
Yeah.
In
I saw
diet,
people where the one
there.
had a lizard inside of its belly or something, and that's all that I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing about the diet of these animals.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of doing that for my master's in the university, but with the pandemic, it's going to be difficult to check the animals in Quito. So I changed that to do with Botrops asper. I have data,
Oh, okay,
and
good.
so I'm going to publish that.
Oh, good.
And then in the next year, I think I'm going to try to do that, and also do the reproductive part of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking to take a cut in the testicles of the males, and to
Mm-hmm.
see when I found the reproductive cells,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and
Asper we're talking about, or Lohannes?
with Lojanus,
Lohannes.
because
Okay, that'd be
for
good.
Asper I already have that data.
Oh, good. Oh, cool.
I'm
Excellent.
going to publish that in the next year or something like that.
Oh, excellent. Good, good.
Yeah. So, and that includes diet.
Oh,
I
okay.
hope to find some animals with diet and
Mhm.
compare them. There's also the idea of compare the snakes from here, from Loja, where I am, which is really humid,
Oh,
really.
okay.
And there's another population in the north near Azuay, near Cuenca,
Oh, okay.
that is in a really dry valley,
Oh, interesting.
really dry valley, and they are really easy to find there
Oh,
because
really?
you can spot them.
Oh, neat.
is nearly really similar to what they found with Vipera in Europe. That
Oh, okay.
they are in the same spots and everything.
Oh,
And they
wow.
use these pencos. I don't know if you know what they are. Similar what they do the tequila. What do you call
Oh,
that?
okay. Oh, agave?
Yeah, basically agaves.
Yeah, okay.
So the snake perches in one of the leaves
Oh, wow.
near the center of the plant,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and they basically hunt there, and I think they perch also there.
Lots of
We
lizards live in
found
those plants then or something?
or underneath it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know yet, but we found a lot of there, and we have a lot of animals from there. They are
Mm-hmm.
really easy to find,
Oh, wow.
especially the juveniles. They are really abundant. Even
Interesting.
yeah. So that's another thing. Compare with this habitat from what the from the habitat in the north.
Oh, okay.
Genetically, even they are a bit different.
Oh,
Not so much, but they are a bit different.
hmm. Cool. That'd
So
be
that
something you could do would be to take scale clips and save them for genetic analysis.
yeah. Mm,
But, that's
we
another
did,
project. Yeah.
we used to take blood samples
Oh, okay. Well, that too. Yeah. A scale clip's a lot easier, but blood will work too. Yeah. Either way.
because he has also already the protocol and everything for blood.
Oh, okay.
I
David,
think
you're
it
talking
should be
about? Or?
easier.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm going to talk with him. But yeah, that can be a good idea. I'm also thinking in the long term to do a population study between these two
Oh, that'd be
uh,
interesting. Yeah.
to see if they share a few uh, genes or
Oh, see if
genetic
we can
between them.
get any gene flow between the population. Yeah.
Yeah, basically that. Mhm.
That'd be interesting. Like a
Genotypes
mark
and
recapture study, but you wouldn't.
mhm.
I guess maybe you don't even need to mark like a mark recapture study.
Yeah, that should be in the
You
future.
don't need to mark them though if they're already naturally that variable. Yeah.
I think they are killed a lot,
Oh, that's too bad.
so I don't think that I'm going to recover
Oh,
in
wow. Okay.
years.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's another thing that we don't know. We don't know how much time they live in,
Yeah,
and
sure.
basically how much time it takes them to be reproductive.
Right, right.
So that should be the other part of the study. Yeah, Jeff. So any other recommendation that you wanted to give me?
I'm trying to think. Hmm. I can't think of much. Do you have like containers to put them in post surgery? Say if you have several, five, six,
Yeah,
something like that. Okay. All right.
yeah. Basically, I bought these baldes. I don't know the name in
Oh yeah.
buckets,
Buckets. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Baldus. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think they are really fine there. I put how you call that the residuals of the wood that they work with,
Oh yeah. Wood chips. Yeah, that's what we call it.
wood chips. Yeah,
Mulch.
and
Is another
and
term. Yeah. 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 English term. Okay.
yeah, wood chips in the bottom, and it seems that they are fine there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. As long as they can burrow under it, I think, snakes like to hide to not be stressed out. You don't want them
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least stress
But
on them.
I have a few specimens with that procedure, and
Mhm.
they seem to be fine and
Okay.
no not stressed out. Because with earth with the dirt,
Mhm.
they get a lot of they get really nasty
Yeah,
and
my
dirty.
their wound infected. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want that.
Get infected. Right,
That's
right.
why I have a few buckets with that. Yeah. What else?
Now, when
Mm,
I did surgery on a couple of pit vipers, and I restrained them more so than with non-venomous snakes, because I didn't want them waking up early and biting me in the face or anything. And they didn't do that. But still, I just used duct tape and taped them to the table, and that didn't seem to hurt them at all when I removed it.
I was thinking of using the tubes that.
Yeah, there you go. Leave them in the tubes as well.
So I think if I'm with someone else that can restrain the snake inside the tube, the procedure should be basically set.
Yeah.
Yeah, safe. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to think. Can these things bite through thick leather gloves? Do you know? Are there fangs?
No, I don't have the balls to try it. Basically, I had a friend from Hungary that had the gloves.
Wow. Yeah.
But here we cannot find this kind of gloves, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I never tried,
Yeah.
and also the quality of the things that you can find here are not very good, so I cannot trust the gloves here.
I had some people up here studying pygmy rattlesnakes, which are even a little smaller than Lohanis, and they were doing that. And one guy had one put its fang through a seam in the glove, where it was sewed together, and the fang got through there and actually envenomated it a little bit. So yeah, you want to be careful.
Yeah, that's also another thing that we think about these snakes, that they don't have a very strong venom.
Okay.
Because envenomment here is basically 2 days in the hospital, and that's it. You don't need even the serum.
Okay, right.
The antibodies they don't need. So yeah. Basically, the procedure is that they get the arm swollen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. 2 days, and they go to the house.
Wow. And that's without any anti-venom? Or is that with anti-venom?
Anything.
Nothing. Wow.
Without anything. They don't use. I think they clean the area, and but basically that's it.
Okay.
And there's also the record of the deaths. There's only 2 deaths around 50 years ago of basically children, really small children.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
In the field. But that's all that you hear about these snakes. So I don't think that's going to be much of a hazard.
Oh, okay. Good.
If I get bitten, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, hopefully you won't. Yeah. Just be careful.
Yeah, I'm pretty careful about these things, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
But if it does, that's how things are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jeff, I really thank you for your time. I don't think.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to think, but I think you told me a lot of my doubts.
Oh, okay.
Already,
good.
So
yeah.
If I have something, I write to you if that's okay with you.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Anytime. Yeah, I'm excited. I wish I could be down there with you looking for them.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
I hope the next year is going to be easy.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
So it's going to be really, really easy for you to come. So I hope to have a few animals. Okay, it's sure that you can work with them and see them.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
But if I'm lucky, I'm going to get a few animals already when you can get here.
Sounds good, man. Sounds great.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. It was good talking with you, and say hi to David if you talk to him or see him or whatever, and good luck finding animals, and I hope you can get the permit situation straightened out too.
Yeah, let's see. I think it's going to take a few months, at least 1 month.
Too bad.
So
yeah.
Let's see what happens with that. Okay, Jeff, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Maybe the recording is it's established in your computer.
Yeah.
If
So
that happens, can you make a Google Drive or something like that? So
yeah,
I
I'll
can
try and get it to you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to send that to the veterinarian also, because I think
Okay.
he's going to be, because he has been very busy and I wasn't able to get it to for this meeting. So
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. If you want, we could do a meeting with all three of us maybe at some point. If you think
yeah,
that's
because the things got slowed down a lot. I haven't pushed the things so much.
right,
So
right. Sure. Yeah. You
if
can't
it's
get
necessary, I'm going to ask you in a few weeks or so
okay.
if that's
Yeah.
okay with you.
Does the veterinarian speak English?
I don't know. I don't know him also,
Oh,
because
okay.
he's a friend of David,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
and basically David is mm, track him,
Oh,
because he was working in some place, then he stopped working there, and there's also he didn't have a phone, and that's it.
I
And
see. Okay.
so it
Well,
was
fine.
really
So
hard to
act as
find.
the interpreter, I suppose.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can pick up a little Spanish, but yeah, nobody around
yeah.
here,
It
so I don't get to
shouldn't
practice.
be a problem. I can translate, and I
Yeah.
think my English is decent enough.
Oh, it's very
So
good. Yeah, very good.
thank you. So I will bother you a few weeks from
Okay.
now, maybe. I
Okay.
think he's pretty confident in his ability, so maybe it's
Good.
not
Good.
necessary. But if he
Okay.
wants, maybe we will do.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, Jeff. I really thank you
All
for
right.
your time.
Here. Yes. And hasta
Good
luego.
luck with the pandemics.
Yeah. Yay. All right. I'm going to end the meeting. Adios.
Bye.